Okay, so in previous videos we've been talking about solutions to quadratic equations. This is just a review. You could have one solution. This would be the vertex line on the x-axis here, like in these graphs. You could have two solutions. We commonly call these the roots, or x-intercepts. And you can have no solution, where the parabola does not cross the x-axis. Alright. Just kind of a review, standard form of a quadratic equation, ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are real numbers here. Okay? Now, our word of the day today is discriminant. This is the discriminant, b squared minus 4ac. And these values come from standard form. This expression can determine the number of solutions of a quadratic equation. So we just kind of talked about how you could have one, two, or no solution. And when we're talking about solutions here for an equation, what that means is that this standard form we're setting equal to 0. So it's the x values that would make this equation true. And this expression can determine how many solutions there are. And we're going to look at how that works. Okay, so I have a few quadratic equations in standard form here. Now, pro tip, right? I would definitely write these equations down when you're doing the assignment. And I always like to just write a little a, b, and c underneath it, so I know which values are which. As mentioned, the discriminant that we're using is b squared minus 4ac. Alright, so what that's going to look like here is we're going to take our b value, which is 4, so it's 4 squared, minus, here we have another 4, and when their letters are next to each other, that means we're multiplying. So our a value here, we can think of this as being like an invisible 1 here, it's just 1. And our c value is also 1. So 4 squared is 16. When we're multiplying by 1, value stays the same, so it's just 16 minus 4, or 12. So this is the value of the discriminant. This is a positive number. Okay? So when I get a positive number, what that means is that there are two solutions. Here, let's take a look at this again. So I have a new quadratic equation here. Again, I'm just going to label my a, b, and c values. I'm still using this expression here. This is the discriminant that we're using here. Okay? So, this time my b value is 2. So I have a 2 squared minus 4. Again, I have those 1's here, times a 1 and times another 1. So now I'm going to have 4 minus 4. Anytime a number is being subtracted by itself, you get 0. Alright? We don't consider 0 a positive number here. Okay? So when the discriminant comes out to be 0, that means that there is one solution. Alright? Here, let's take a look at this last one. Okay? So in the first one, we got a positive number, meaning two solutions. Second one, we get 0, meaning one solution. We're still using this expression here. Again, I'm going to label just my a, b, and c values. So I have my b value is a negative 5 squared. We're subtracting here. Minus 4 times my a value is just 1. And my c value, now we have a different number here, 7. Okay? Anytime you're squaring a negative number, it does come out to be positive, so we get 25 minus 4 times 7 is 28. And you notice now we get a negative 3. Now, so this isn't positive, it's not 0. When the discriminant is negative, that means you have no solution. So in each of these, we're using the same expression, plugging in our a, b, and c values, and it determines how many solutions we have. Just to review here, right? So if you have just one solution, what that means is for the discriminant, b squared minus 4ac, that if it's one solution, that means the discriminant is equal to 0. Whereas with two solutions, your discriminant, the b squared minus 4ac, is going to be greater than 0, or a positive number. And in that last example we saw, the b squared minus 4ac came out to be negative, or less than 0. That means no solutions. So the discriminant can determine the number of solutions that we saw in this video.